Royal Caribbean just made a move that's going to make your next cruise a lot more annoying, as the cruise giant just released a new list of banned items, things you can't bring on board your next Royal cruise. And one of the most popular cruise accessories is suddenly prohibited. Let's roll the intro. Hey, welcome to the Midships channel. It's your Captain Corey. So if you got a cruise coming up with Royal Caribbean or their subsidiary Celebrity Cruise Line, you're likely going to have to change your packing habits for that cruise and your onboard behavior as well as a result of some new restrictions or banned items that the cruise line has just released. Now, obviously, most people know cruise lines prohibit certain items from being brought on board their ships. This can include things like alcohol, drugs, and weapons, things that could cause potential hazards on board cruise ships. But there's also a large list of other items that seem a lot more benign that you're still not allowed to take with you when you cruise, because they might present additional dangers like a risk of fire. And maybe that's what today's newly banned item list from Royal Caribbean aims to address, because the cruise giant is now telling you that you can no longer bring a multi-plug outlet with you on board your cruise ship when you cruise on any of the seas ships. Yes, I am talking about these things or these things. For as long as I can remember, these have been one of, if not the most popular cruise essential that almost everybody brings with them every time they cruise. As a matter of fact, there's a whole cottage industry that has sprung up around these types of devices online. And I've got several of them, like you just saw, and I've even sold them for a long time in my Amazon store as well. But newly revised language coming from Royal Caribbean states that you can no longer bring extension cords, power strips, or multi-plug outlets with you when you cruise. So this is obviously going to cause some difficulty for people cruising on Royal Caribbean who have multiple things they like to keep powered while they're in their cabin. Say, for instance, you like to just charge your phones overnight while running a fan in your cabin, like most people enjoy doing. You're going to have to get a little bit more creative on your cruise to make that happen. Luckily, though, Royal Caribbean ships have some options for you. First and foremost, look around, try to find some USB ports hidden around the cabin and make good use of them. There might be some that are nearby the bed. Oftentimes there's one hidden on the side of the phone in your cabin. And don't quote me on this one, but you might also look in the lamps on the bedside. They might have some, like hotels do. The other thing to consider is that most cruise ships have a US outlet in addition to a European outlet, which means you might want to order something like this if you don't already have one. This is a single outlet converter that will step a European plug to a US plug or vice versa. This one also works in Australia. There you go. However, technically speaking, under Royal Caribbean's policy as it's written, this should be permitted, as the language does not specifically prohibit multiple USB port devices. But you never know what you're going to experience when you get to the port. But who knew that multi-plug chargers were just as dangerous to you Royal Caribbean passengers as dynamite, fireworks, blasting caps, and even turpentine? But apparently, according to the cruise giant, they are, which means if you have a cruise coming up, you're going to need to do some shopping or get a little bit more creative. One online article that I read today suggested having a phone-free dinner where you leave your cell phones and devices in the cabin to charge. So once you get done with dinner, they're full for the night and ready to go. The other thing that I would suggest is bringing a battery bank or two with you when you cruise. This would allow you to charge the battery bank while you're out of your room, and then you can use this overnight to charge your devices while something else is plugged in, like that fan we talked about. And don't forget, there is an outlet in most cruise cabin bathrooms up on the ceiling. Only time will tell just how restrictive Royal is going to be with this multi-plug outlet ban. If you've experienced a recent Royal Caribbean cruise since this new policy has gone into effect, have you been denied boarding, or have you had these outlets confiscated from you? Or did they mention something about you not being able to bring those on future cruises? Let me know about it in the comments down below. And in response to this new banned items list update from Royal Caribbean and likely Celebrity Cruise Line, I've gone ahead and put some new items in the Midships Amazon store that should still pass the sniff test from these cruise lines. If you want to check them out, there's a link up here and in the description down below. And even though that's it for talking about these banned items on Royal Caribbean, your time in the midships is not over, because coming up in just a few seconds, I'd like to invite you to click on this video where I share my recent experience on one of the cheapest Carnival cruises you can take. Cost me $100 a day, all in, including parking, Wi-Fi, gratuities, and cruise fare. We'll see you there.